Marcus Johnson was tired after a long day of training. As a Navy SEAL, his days were always tough. The sun was setting as he pulled his truck into the grocery store parking lot. All he wanted was to buy some food and go home to rest. Marcus saw an empty parking spot near the front of the store. It was his lucky day. He turned his truck and parked carefully between the white lines. He did not see the silver car that was waiting for the same spot. He did not notice the angry faces of the man and woman inside that car. Marcus turned off his engine and grabbed his wallet. He stepped out of his truck and locked the door. The cool evening air felt good on his face. He started walking toward the store entrance when he heard someone yelling behind him. Hey you. That was our spot." Marcus turned around to see a white couple walking fast toward him. The man was tall with a red face. The woman next to him had her phone out and was pointing it at Marcus. "I'm sorry, I didn't see you waiting," Marcus said calmly. His deep voice was steady. Years of military training had taught him how to stay calm in hard situations. "Yeah, right. You saw us. You took it on purpose," the man shouted. His face got even redder. Marcus could feel that this was not just about a parking spot. The way they looked at him told him more. He had seen that look before. "Sir, I really didn't see you. I can move my truck if you want the spot that badly," Marcus offered. He wanted to solve this problem quickly and peacefully. The woman laughed in an ugly way. "You people always think you can take whatever you want." She used words that Marcus had heard too many times before, words that hurt based on the color of his skin. Marcus took a deep breath. He stood straight and tall, his muscles tight under his t-shirt. He could handle himself in any fight, but that wasn't the right way to deal with this. "There's no need for that kind of talk," Marcus said. "This is just a parking spot. It's not worth getting upset about." The man stepped closer to Marcus. "Don't tell us what to get upset about." He put his finger on Marcus's chest and pushed. Other people in the parking lot started to notice what was happening. Some stopped to watch. A few took out their phones and started recording. "Please step back, sir," Marcus said. His voice stayed calm but firm. "I don't want any trouble." The man didn't listen. Instead, he pushed Marcus hard against his truck. "What are you going to do about it?" he asked with an ugly smile. The woman kept filming with her phone. "Get him, Dave. Show him he can't disrespect us." Marcus could have ended the fight in seconds. His training had taught him many ways to take down an enemy. But these people weren't enemies on a battlefield. They were just angry people in a parking lot. "I'm not going to fight you," Marcus said. "This isn't worth it." This made the man even angrier. He tried to punch Marcus in the face. Marcus moved his head to the side, and the punch missed. The man lost his balance and stumbled forward. "Security," someone called out. A store employee was running toward them. The man in a uniform was coming to see what all the noise was about. Marcus stood still. He kept his hands where everyone could see them. He knew how things could look, and he didn't want anyone to think he was the one causing trouble. The couple didn't know it yet, but their bad behavior was already being recorded by many phones. And in just a few minutes, their actions would lead to consequences they never expected. The security guard walked quickly toward Marcus and the angry couple. His name was Bill, and he had worked at the grocery store for 5 years. He had seen many arguments in the parking lot before, but something about this one felt different. "What's going on here?" Bill asked. He stood between Marcus and the couple. He was shorter than both men, but his uniform gave him authority. "This guy attacked us," the woman shouted. She was still holding her phone up, recording everything. "We were waiting for that parking spot, and he took it. Then when we said something, he got violent." Marcus stayed quiet. He knew that getting angry would only make things worse. "That's not what happened," said a voice from behind them. A woman with shopping bags stepped forward. "I saw the whole thing. This man was just parking his car when these two came up and started yelling at him. The guy in the red shirt pushed him first." Bill looked at Marcus. "Sir, is that true?" "Yes," Marcus said simply. "I didn't see them waiting for the spot. I offered to move my truck, but they weren't interested in that." The man in the red shirt pointed his finger at Marcus's face. "You're lying. And who's going to believe you over us?" "I believe him," said another shopper, a young man with glasses. "I got it all on video, starting from when you two walked up to him." "Me too," said an older man leaning on a cane. "I saw everything from over by the cart return." The woman with the phone suddenly looked nervous. She pulled on her husband's arm. "Dave, let's just go. It's not worth it." Dave shook his head. "No way, I'm not letting this go." He turned to Bill. "Call the police. I want to press charges." Bill looked uncomfortable. "Sir, from what these witnesses are saying, you might be the one facing charges if I call the police." Marcus spoke up. "Look, I don't want any trouble. I offered to move my truck. I'll still do that if it will end this." "That's very reasonable," Bill said. He turned to the couple. "How about we all calm down and—" "Reasonable," Dave shouted. His face was now dark red. "There's nothing reasonable about this. You're all taking his side because you're afraid of him." The woman pulled harder on Dave's arm. "Let's go," she whispered loudly. "Now." Dave finally seemed to understand that things weren't going his way. He looked around at all the people watching them. At least 5 different people had phones out, recording the whole scene. "Fine," he said. "This place is ridiculous anyway. We'll shop somewhere else." He and the woman turned and walked quickly back to their silver car. Dave got behind the wheel, while the woman got in the passenger seat. The engine roared loudly as Dave started the car. "Thank you," Marcus said to Bill and the witnesses who had spoken up. "I appreciate your help." "No problem," the woman with the shopping bag said. "What they did wasn't right." Dave backed the silver car out of its spot so fast that the tires squealed. The car sped toward the exit, nearly hitting a shopping cart that someone had left out. "That guy is driving like a maniac," Bill said, shaking his head. "I hope they don't hurt anyone," the young man with glasses said. Marcus watched the silver car race out of the parking lot and run through a stop sign without slowing down. He had a strange feeling that this wasn't over yet. "Can I get your contact information?" Marcus asked the witnesses, just in case anything else happens. The people who had recorded the incident shared their phone numbers with Marcus. They promised to send him the videos too. "Are you going to be okay?" Bill asked Marcus. "Yes, I'll be fine," Marcus said. "I still need to do my shopping." As Marcus walked toward the store entrance, several people nodded at him with respect in their eyes. They had seen how he handled himself, with calm and dignity even when faced with hate. What none of them knew yet was that karma was already on its way to find Dave and his wife. Dave drove the silver car fast down the main road. His hands gripped the steering wheel so tight that his knuckles turned white. His wife, Linda, was still holding her phone, but she had stopped recording. "I can't believe those people took his side," Dave said. His voice was loud in the small car. "Did you see how they looked at us?" "Dave, you need to slow down," Linda said. She put her phone in her purse. "You're going too fast." Dave didn't listen. He was too angry to think clearly. The car sped up as they approached a traffic light. The light turned yellow, then red. Dave didn't slow down. "Dave!" Linda screamed. "It's red." The silver car raced through the red light. Cars coming from the other direction honked their horns. Dave just kept driving fast. What Dave and Linda didn't see was the police car waiting at the corner. Officer James Wilson was on patrol that evening. He saw the silver car run the red light, and he immediately turned on his lights and siren. "Great, just what we need," Linda said when she heard the siren. She looked back and saw the police car. "Pull over, Dave." Dave looked in his mirror. His face got even redder. "No way. I'm not in the mood to deal with cops right now." "Are you crazy?" Linda asked. "You can't run from the police." But Dave was past listening to reason. He pushed the gas pedal harder, and the car shot forward. The engine roared as they sped down the road. The police car stayed behind them, its siren wailing. Officer Wilson spoke into his radio. "This is Unit 17. I'm in pursuit of a silver sedan heading east on Main Street. Driver ran a red light and is now fleeing." Dave turned the car sharply onto a side street. The tires squealed. Linda grabbed the door handle to keep from falling over. "Dave, stop the car," she yelled. "This is only making things worse." Dave ignored her. He turned onto another street, then another. The police cars stayed behind them the whole time. More police cars joined the chase. Their lights flashed red and blue in the evening darkness. Dave was not a good driver when he was angry. As he turned onto Pine Street, he lost control of the car. The silver car spun around and crashed into a light pole. The sound of metal hitting metal was loud. The front of the car crumpled like paper. The airbags exploded out, hitting Dave and Linda in their faces. The car stopped moving. Smoke came from under the hood. "Look what you did," Linda screamed at Dave. "Are you happy now?" Before Dave could answer, police cars surrounded them. Officers got out with their guns drawn. "Get out of the car with your hands up," an officer shouted through a speaker. Dave and Linda sat frozen. This was not how their evening was supposed to go. They had just wanted to go shopping. Now they were in a crashed car with police pointing guns at them. "I said get out of the car with your hands up," the officer repeated. Slowly, Dave and Linda opened their doors. They got out with their hands raised. Officer Wilson approached them carefully. "On your knees," he ordered. They got down on their knees on the hard road. Other officers came forward and put handcuffs on both of them. The cold metal clicked around their wrists. "You are under arrest for running a red light, evading police, and reckless driving," Officer Wilson said to Dave. "You have the right to remain silent." As the officers helped Dave and Linda to their feet, Linda suddenly remembered something. "My phone," she said. "It's still in the car. I need my phone." "We'll get your belongings later, Mom," Officer Wilson said. What Linda didn't realize was that her phone was still recording. It had been recording the whole time, from the parking lot fight all the way through their crash. The phone had captured every word they said, including all their racist comments. It had recorded Dave's decision to run from the police. That small device sitting in the crashed car would soon cause them even bigger problems than they faced now. The police station was busy that evening. Officers walked back and forth between desks. Phones rang. People waited on hard plastic chairs. The smell of coffee filled the air. Dave and Linda sat in separate rooms. They could not see or talk to each other. Officer Wilson had taken Linda's phone from the crashed car. Now he sat at his desk, looking at what was on it. At first, he just wanted to see the video of them running from the police. But when he opened the video files, he found much more. He saw the fight in the parking lot. He heard the nasty words they said to Marcus. He watched as Dave tried to hit Marcus. Officer Wilson was surprised. This wasn't just about running a red light anymore. This was assault. And the words they used made it a possible hate crime too. In the small interview room, Dave stared at the wall. His face was red and swollen from the airbag. He was still angry, but now he was also worried. Running from the police was a serious crime. He could lose his job over this. In another room, Linda cried softly. Her makeup ran down her face. She kept thinking about her phone. There were things on that phone she didn't want the police to see. Officer Wilson knocked on his captain's door. "Come in," Captain Roberts said. Officer Wilson walked in and placed the phone on the captain's desk. "Sir, you need to see this. The couple we arrested after the car chase. They were involved in an earlier incident at the grocery store." Captain Roberts picked up the phone and watched the video. His face grew serious as he listened to the racist language and saw the attempted assault. "Do we know who the victim is?" the captain asked. "Not yet," Officer Wilson said, "but we have his license plate from the video. We're running it now." Just then, another officer knocked and entered. "Sir, we got an ID on the man from the parking lot. His name is Marcus Johnson. He's a Navy SEAL." The captain raised his eyebrows. "A Navy SEAL? Well, that explains why he handled himself so well. Have we contacted him yet?" "We're trying to reach him now," the officer said. Back at his apartment, Marcus had just finished putting away his groceries when his phone rang. He didn't recognize the number, but answered anyway. "Mr. Johnson, this is Officer Wilson from the City Police Department. Do you have a few minutes to talk?" Marcus sat down at his kitchen table. "Yes, officer. What can I do for you?" "Were you involved in an incident at the grocery store parking lot this evening?" "Yes, I was," Marcus said. He told the officer everything that happened, just as it happened. "I see," Officer Wilson said when Marcus finished. "Well, I should let you know that the couple from that incident was arrested about 7 minutes after leaving the parking lot." "Arrested?" Marcus was surprised. "What happened?" "They ran a red light, then tried to flee from police. They crashed their car into a pole. No one else was hurt, thankfully." Marcus shook his head. "I'm sorry to hear that. I hope they're not badly injured." Officer Wilson was impressed by Marcus's concern, even after how the couple had treated him. "They have minor injuries only," the officer said. "But there's more. The woman's phone recorded everything, including their actions toward you. We'd like you to come to the station tomorrow to make a formal statement. They may be facing additional charges based on how they treated you." "I understand," Marcus said. "I'll be there." After hanging up, Marcus sat quietly at his table. He hadn't wanted anyone to get hurt or get in trouble. He had just wanted to buy some groceries and go home. But now, this couple's hatred had led them down a path of self-destruction. Marcus thought about his SEAL training. His instructors had always taught him that character matters most when no one is watching. But in today's world, someone was always watching. The couple's own phone had been their undoing. He decided he would tell the whole truth tomorrow. Not to punish the couple, but because the truth was important. People needed to face the consequences of their actions. That was the only way anything would ever change. The next morning was bright and clear. Marcus woke up early, as he always did. Years in the Navy had made early rising a habit he couldn't break. He did his usual workout, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and a 5-mile run. Physical training was important for a SEAL. After a shower and breakfast, Marcus put on clean, simple clothes, dark jeans, a blue button-up shirt, and boots. He wanted to look respectful when he went to the police station. First impressions mattered. At the same time, in the county jail, Dave and Linda were waking up too. They had spent the night in separate cells. The beds were hard. The lights were too bright. The sounds of other people kept them from sleeping well. Dave's anger had turned to worry overnight. He had called his boss from the police station, but the call hadn't gone well. His boss was not happy about Dave being arrested. Dave might lose his job at the accounting firm where he had worked for 8 years. Linda had cried herself to sleep. She had never been in trouble with the law before. Now she was in jail, wearing an orange jumpsuit instead of her designer clothes. Her friends would be shocked. What would people think? Her job as a real estate agent depended on her good reputation. At 9 o'clock, Marcus walked into the police station. The desk officer looked up. "I'm Marcus Johnson," he said. "Officer Wilson asked me to come in." The officer nodded. "Yes, sir. He's expecting you. Please have a seat. He'll be with you shortly." Marcus sat down on one of the plastic chairs. He watched people coming and going. Some looked worried. Some looked angry. Some looked sad. The police station was a place where people's lives could change in an instant. A few minutes later, Officer Wilson appeared. "Mr. Johnson, thank you for coming. Please follow me." They walked down a hallway to a small room with a table and chairs. Captain Roberts was waiting there. He stood up when Marcus entered. "Mr. Johnson, I'm Captain Roberts," he said, shaking Marcus's hand. "Thank you for coming in today." "No problem," Marcus said. "I want to help." They all sat down. Officer Wilson placed a recorder on the table and turned it on. He stated the date, time, and names of everyone present. "Mr. Johnson, could you please tell us what happened yesterday at the grocery store parking lot?" Captain Roberts asked. Marcus told the story simply and clearly. He didn't exaggerate. He didn't leave anything out. He just told the truth about what Dave and Linda had said and done. "And did you know these people before yesterday?" Officer Wilson asked. "No, sir," Marcus said. "I had never seen them before." "Did you do anything to provoke their behavior?" Captain Roberts asked. "No, sir," Marcus said. "I didn't see them waiting for the parking spot. When they confronted me, I offered to move my truck. I tried to defuse the situation." Officer Wilson nodded. "That matches what we saw on the video and what the witnesses told us." While Marcus was giving his statement, Dave and Linda were being brought to the courthouse. They would appear before a judge that morning. The prosecutor had reviewed their case and decided to charge them with several crimes: assault, hate crime, reckless driving, running a red light, and evading police. Dave and Linda were shocked when they heard all the charges. Their court-appointed lawyer looked grim. "The hate crime charge is the most serious," the lawyer explained. "The prosecutor has the video from your phone. It clearly shows the racist language and the assault." "But we didn't hurt anyone," Linda protested. "Attempted assault is still a crime," the lawyer said. "And the language you used makes it a hate crime under state law." Dave put his head in his hands. "How did this happen?" "We just got angry about a parking spot." The lawyer shook his head. "It was more than that. The video shows it was about more than a parking spot." Back at the police station, Marcus finished his statement. Captain Roberts turned off the recorder. "Thank you for your time, Mr. Johnson," he said. "Your statement will help us with this case." "What will happen to them now?" Marcus asked. "They're facing serious charges," Officer Wilson said. "The video evidence is very strong." Marcus nodded. He didn't feel happy about it, but he understood that actions had consequences. The couple had made bad choices, one after another. Now they would have to face what came next. As Marcus left the police station, his phone rang. It was his commanding officer. "Johnson, we need to talk about what happened yesterday," the voice said. "It's all over the internet." Marcus was surprised by his commanding officer's call. "All over the internet, sir?" he asked. "Yes, Johnson. Someone posted the videos of the parking lot incident. They've been shared thousands of times already. The Navy Public Affairs Office called me this morning." Marcus felt his stomach tighten. He didn't want this kind of attention. "I'm sorry, sir. I tried to handle it quietly." "You have nothing to apologize for, Johnson," his commander said. "I've seen the videos. You showed remarkable restraint. You represented the SEALs well." Marcus felt relieved. "Thank you, sir. Report to base tomorrow at 800. The Admiral wants to speak with you." "Yes, sir," Marcus said. He ended the call and sat in his car for a moment, thinking. He hadn't considered that the videos would be shared online. Now many people had seen what happened. He drove home and turned on his computer. He searched for "parking lot fight" and immediately found several videos. Some had titles like "Racist Couple Attacks Navy SEAL" and "Karma Strikes Quickly After Parking Lot Racism." One video already had over 100,000 views. Marcus read some of the comments. Most people supported him and criticized Dave and Linda. Some people had even figured out who Dave and Linda were. They had posted the couple's full names, where they worked, and other personal information. Marcus felt uncomfortable about this. He didn't want Dave and Linda to be harassed, even after what they did to him. Justice should come through the legal system, not from angry people online. Meanwhile, the videos were spreading quickly across social media. People shared them with angry comments about racism. News websites began writing articles about the incident. Local TV stations prepared to run the story on their evening news. At the county courthouse, Dave and Linda's hearing was finished. The judge had set their bail at $50,000 each. Neither of them had that much money available. They would have to stay in jail until someone could pay their bail or until their trial. Their lawyer met with them in a small conference room. "I have more bad news," he said. "The videos of your confrontation with Mr. Johnson have gone viral online. People are very angry." Linda began to cry again. "This is a nightmare. It just keeps getting worse." Dave stared at the table. "Can they do that? Put our faces online like that?" "The incident happened in public," the lawyer explained. "People are allowed to record in public places and share those recordings." "What about our jobs?" Linda asked. "Will we lose them?" The lawyer looked uncomfortable. "That's very possible. In fact, I've already heard that some people are calling your employers." Dave put his head in his hands. "This is too much. All because of a stupid parking spot." "No," the lawyer said firmly. "All because of your actions and words after the parking spot. The video doesn't show a simple argument. It shows physical assault and clearly racist language." Linda looked up, her face tear-stained. "But we're not bad people. We just got angry. Sometimes our worst moments reveal truths about us that we don't want to face," the lawyer said. "The jury will see those videos. They'll hear what you said. They'll watch what you did. And they'll make judgments based on that." On the other side of town, Marcus's phone kept ringing. Friends and family members had seen the videos. Reporters wanted interviews. Even some celebrities had shared the videos and were trying to reach out to him. Marcus didn't answer most of the calls. He didn't want to be famous for this. He had joined the Navy SEALs to serve his country, not to be in the spotlight. One call he did answer was from his mother. "Baby, are you okay?" she asked, her voice full of concern. "I saw what those people did to you." "I'm fine, Mom," Marcus assured her. "They didn't hurt me." "I raised you right," she said proudly. "You kept your cool. Your father would have been proud." Marcus smiled at the mention of his late father, who had also served in the Navy. "Thanks, Mom. That means a lot. Are you sure you're okay? Do you want me to come over?" "No need, Mom. I'm good. Just going to have a quiet night at home." After they hung up, Marcus sat in his living room. The events of the past 24 hours played in his mind. He wondered what would happen tomorrow when he met with the Admiral. He wondered what would happen to Dave and Linda. He wondered if anything good could come from this ugly incident. His phone buzzed with a text from a number he didn't recognize. "Thank you for showing such dignity. You inspired me today." Marcus smiled. Maybe some good would come of this after all. The next morning, Marcus put on his Navy uniform. Each button and medal had to be in the right place. He looked at himself in the mirror and straightened his collar. Today he would meet with Admiral Peterson, the base commander. At 8 o'clock sharp, Marcus walked into the Admiral's office. He stood at attention and saluted. "Petty Officer First Class Marcus Johnson reporting as ordered, sir." Admiral Peterson returned the salute. "At ease, Johnson. Have a seat." Marcus sat down, his back straight. The Admiral was a serious man with gray hair and sharp eyes. He had led men in battle for many years. "I've seen the videos," the Admiral said. "So has everyone else on this base. So has the Secretary of the Navy." Marcus didn't know what to say, so he said nothing. "You handled yourself with remarkable restraint," the Admiral continued. "You had every right to defend yourself, but you chose not to. Why?" Marcus thought for a moment. "Those people weren't a real threat, sir. They were just angry and saying hurtful things. My training is for real threats. Using that training on regular citizens wouldn't have been right." The Admiral nodded. "Good answer. The SEALs train some of the deadliest fighters in the world, but we also expect you to know when not to fight." "Yes, sir." "The Public Affairs Office has received dozens of interview requests for you. News stations, talk shows, magazines. Everyone wants to talk to the Navy SEAL who kept his cool." Marcus shifted in his chair. "I'm not comfortable with that kind of attention." "Sir, I understand. But this is an opportunity for the Navy to show what kind of men we produce. Would you be willing to do one interview? Just one. The Navy would control the setting and the questions. Marcus thought about it. He didn't want fame, but he did want to serve. If his story could help the Navy, maybe it was worth doing. One interview, sir. That's all. Thank you, Johnson. Public Affairs will contact you with the details. As Marcus left the Admiral's office, several other SEALs nodded at him with respect. Word had spread quickly about what happened. In the tight-knit SEAL community, Marcus's restraint was seen as a sign of true strength. On the other side of town, Dave and Linda were facing very different reactions. Dave's boss had called the jail. Dave, this is Mr. Thompson. I've seen the videos. I've heard the language you used. I've watched you try to hit that man. Your actions do not represent the values of our firm. Your employment is terminated, effective immediately. Dave tried to explain, to make excuses, to plead for another chance. But Mr. Thompson had made up his mind. After 8 years at the firm, Dave was fired. Linda faced similar news. The real estate agency where she worked had received angry calls and emails. Clients threatened to take their business elsewhere if Linda kept her job. Her boss called with the bad news that she was fired too. By noon, both Dave and Linda had lost their jobs. They had no income to pay for their apartment, their car loans, or their credit card bills. And they still needed money for bail if they wanted to get out of jail before their trial. Linda called her parents, crying as she asked for help. They were shocked by what had happened. They agreed to pay her bail, but said they couldn't help with her legal fees. They were retired and living on a fixed income. Dave called his brother, who refused to help. You made your bed, now lie in it, his brother said. I warned you about your temper for years. Linda's parents arrived at the courthouse with a cashier's check for her bail. She was released into their custody that afternoon. They drove her to her apartment to get some clothes and personal items. As they pulled up to the building, Linda gasped. Someone had spray-painted the word racist on her front door. The apartment manager was there, looking angry. You need to clean this up, he said when she got out of the car. And I should let you know, we're reviewing your lease. Your behavior may constitute a violation of our community standards clause. Linda felt sick. It seemed like her whole life was falling apart. Her job was gone. Her reputation was ruined. She might lose her home. And all because of one bad moment, one angry outburst caught on video for the world to see. She looked at her parents, who seemed suddenly older and very tired. I'm sorry, she whispered. I don't know what happened to me. That's not who I am. Her father looked at her sadly. It was you in that video, Linda. Those were your words. Those were your actions. You need to own that before you can move forward. Linda felt the truth of his words. It had been her in that video. No one had forced those hateful words from her mouth. No one had made Dave push and try to hit Marcus. They had done these things themselves. For the first time, she began to truly understand the weight of her actions. 1 week after the parking lot incident, Marcus sat in a chair on the Navy base. Lights were set up around him. A camera pointed at his face. A famous TV news reporter sat across from him. Are we ready? The reporter asked the camera crew. Rolling in 3, 2, 1, the camera operator said, then pointed at the reporter. I'm speaking today with Petty Officer First Class Marcus Johnson, a Navy SEAL who recently became famous for his calm response to a racist attack. Petty Officer Johnson, thank you for speaking with us. Thank you for having me, Marcus said. He felt nervous but didn't show it. The video of your confrontation has been viewed millions of times. People are calling you a hero for your restraint. How do you feel about that? Marcus thought carefully before answering. I'm not a hero for what happened that day. I just did what I thought was right. Heroes are the men and women who give their lives for others. I just kept my cool in a difficult situation. The reporter nodded. Can you walk us through what was going through your mind when that couple approached you? At first, I just thought it was a misunderstanding about the parking spot. I offered to move my truck. When I realized they were angry about more than that, I focused on staying calm and not making the situation worse. Were you tempted to fight back when the man pushed you and tried to hit you? Marcus shook his head. No. My training is for defending our nation against real threats. Using those skills against angry civilians wouldn't have been appropriate. Besides, fighting would have only made the situation worse. What would you say to people who are facing similar situations of racism or hostility? Safety comes first. Remove yourself from dangerous situations if possible. Keep your dignity. Don't let someone else's hatred change who you are or how you act. The reporter turned slightly toward the camera. The couple involved, Dave and Linda Simmons, have both lost their jobs. They're facing criminal charges including assault and hate crime charges. They've received threats. Their lives have essentially been destroyed. Do you think that's fair? Marcus paused, choosing his words carefully. I don't take any pleasure in their suffering. What happened to them wasn't my goal, but every action has consequences. They made choices that day, one after another. They chose anger. They chose hate. They chose violence. Then they chose to run from police. Each choice led them further down a destructive path. Do you forgive them? This question caught Marcus by surprise. He hadn't thought about forgiveness. I believe in second chances, he said finally. People can change. If they truly understand what they did wrong and want to be better, yes, I would forgive them. But forgiveness doesn't mean there are no consequences. They still need to face responsibility for their actions. The interview continued for 30 minutes. Marcus spoke honestly about his experiences as a black man in America and as a Navy SEAL. He talked about the values the Navy had taught him: honor, courage, commitment. He explained how his parents had raised him to be proud of who he was and to always conduct himself with dignity. When the interview ended, the reporter shook his hand. Thank you for your service and for your time today. You're welcome, Marcus said. The interview aired on national television that night. Millions of people watched it. The response was overwhelmingly positive. People admired Marcus's calm strength and wisdom. Young people posted that they wanted to be like him. Parents told their children to learn from his example. The Navy received thousands of emails and calls thanking them for training men like Marcus. Recruitment interest spiked, especially among young black men who saw Marcus as a role model. Meanwhile, Dave remained in jail, unable to make bail. Linda stayed with her parents, afraid to go back to her vandalized apartment. Their court date was approaching. Their lawyers had suggested they consider a plea deal, as the evidence against them was overwhelming. Linda watched Marcus's interview on her parents' TV. She saw his calm dignity, his lack of hatred toward her and Dave. She heard him talk about second chances and forgiveness. For the first time since the incident, she felt something besides self-pity. She felt ashamed. She realized that she and Dave had shown the worst of humanity that day in the parking lot, while Marcus had shown the best. His restraint wasn't weakness, as Dave had thought. It was true strength. Linda picked up the phone and called her lawyer. I want to plead guilty, she said, and I want to apologize to Marcus Johnson in person, if he'll let me. The lawyer was surprised. Are you sure? We might be able to get a better deal if we... Unsure, Linda interrupted. It's time I took responsibility for what I did. In that moment, Linda took her first step on the long road to becoming a better person. She couldn't undo the past, but she could choose a different path forward. 6 months had passed since the parking lot incident. The leaves on the trees had changed from green to orange and red, then fallen to the ground. The weather had turned cold. Marcus's life had changed in unexpected ways. After his interview aired, he received letters from people all over the country. Many thanked him for setting a good example. Some shared their own stories of facing hatred. Children sent drawings of him in his Navy uniform. The Navy had promoted him. Now he helped train new SEALs, teaching them not just fighting skills, but also when not to fight. His commanders valued his judgment and cool head under pressure. Today, Marcus sat in a room at the courthouse. His lawyer sat beside him. They were waiting for Dave and Linda to arrive. After months of legal proceedings, both Dave and Linda had decided to plead guilty. Part of their plea agreement included community service, racial sensitivity training, and a face-to-face apology to Marcus. The judge had agreed to reduce their jail time if Marcus accepted their apology. Marcus had agreed to the meeting. He didn't need their apology for himself, but he thought it might help them change. The door opened. Dave and Linda walked in, followed by their lawyer. They looked very different from the angry couple in the parking lot. Dave had lost weight. His face was pale. He looked at the floor as he walked. Linda's hair was pulled back simply. She wore no makeup. Her eyes were red from crying. They sat across the table from Marcus. No one spoke for a moment. Finally, Linda looked up. "Thank you for agreeing to meet with us," she said. Her voice was quiet. Marcus nodded but said nothing. Dave cleared his throat. I want to apologize for what I did that day. For what I said. For how I acted. It was wrong. All of it was wrong. It was more than wrong, Linda added. It was hateful. We were hateful. She wiped a tear from her cheek. I spent months thinking about why we acted that way. Why those words came out of my mouth so easily. Marcus looked at them both. And what have you learned? Dave sighed. I learned that I had hate in me that I didn't want to admit was there. I told myself I wasn't racist because I didn't go around using slurs all the time. But when I got angry, that's what came out. That shows who I really was. Was? Marcus asked. I'm trying to change, Dave said. It's hard. I have to question thoughts I never questioned before. I have to admit ugly truths about myself. But I'm trying. Linda nodded. Me too. We've been going to counseling. We've been reading books. We've been listening to people's stories. We're trying to understand. Marcus studied their faces. He had seen many men break down in SEAL training, showing their true character under pressure. He could usually tell when someone was being honest or just saying what they thought others wanted to hear. Dave and Linda seemed sincere. I accept your apology, Marcus said. Not just for me, but for yourselves. Hate hurts the person who holds it more than anyone else. Linda began to cry softly. We lost everything. Our jobs. Our apartment. Most of our friends. My parents still let me stay with them. But they're disappointed in me. Dave's brother won't even speak to him. That must be hard, Marcus said. Dave looked surprised at the sympathy in Marcus's voice. Why are you being kind to us? After what we did. Holding on to anger doesn't help anyone, Marcus said. Besides, you're facing the consequences of your actions. That's justice.